Hello, everybody. It's Carlo back again with better video. Um, my last couple videos were made by my smartphone. That's why the image looks kind of blurry. But now I have my computer fixed, so everything should be way better now. So, um, I want to talk about one thing that kind of messed me up at the same time. Uh, let's say in one word makes me really mad. Sorry. This thing is how many neurotypicals refer to us in their analogies as crazy people, crazy or mad. I have many times heard people use that term to refer to me, and well, I can say that we must risk getting lost in the sea of madness in order to reach the long island of genius. So, since many people have sometimes tag us as crazy, I have the free time to investigate madness and intelligence, right? I know many people see us as crazy, and for me, being crazy is the term madness is just a social construction, right? One more, for me, weird, crazy, psychotic, different is just being different from the norm, from the common. So if you actually come out with a different idea, you're immediately tagged as a crazy person. So in my case, I can say that I'm very interested in Jungian psychology. Jungian psychology is, let's say, one of the theories of the conscious and psychoanalysis. Actually, Jungian psychology is analytic psychology, is deep psychology. I want to explain why people, when they hear these ideas, they're kind of getting shocked. Like, what? What's this guy talking about? You know? Like, what is this guy saying? Like, things like that. First of all, I want to say any theory of the unconscious, whatever it is, either is very deterministic, like Freud type of psychology, or Jungian, which is very mystic, is going to mysticism. That means expansion of consciousness, you know. That means that you have to look into yourself, look into your own inner functions, your own inner psychological processes, your own inner psychic contents, right? And start looking at the patterns and how these contents condition your personality, I mean your consciousness. So that's one thing I have struggled with. When I say the unconscious, people start like, you know, in fact, because in this society everything is, especially here in American society, everything is have a big emphasis in external. Science is external. It's funny and it's ironic because science is external, measurable, but come from hypotheses that are inner, are inside, are subjective. So yes, people is very external here, extrovert I can say. So everything that is inner, that is out of our consciousness, out of the complex of our consciousness, is seen as weird and crazy. I can say that example. So I found this research on internet about madness and intelligence. And these researchers make a research talking about the big five personality traits. And they were emphasizing in the openness intellect domain. They wanted to say how intelligence apport to personality and how schizoid personality disorder apport or help personality. So this personality trait is essentially what makes us human, right? Is the psychological phenomenon that have a linkage to human art, aesthetic interest, unconventionality, imagination, creativity, perceived intelligence, and intellectual curiosity. So I want to make clear what is the difference between being smart and being crazy. Okay? I know I said before madness is a social construction, but there is an objective aspect to tax a person as a crazy person. I mean, this message is for all neurotypicals out there that have tagged people with aspergers as crazy, you know. You cannot say and you cannot call crazy everybody. You cannot. We have a different mental circuit, we have different development that make us be this way, but it's not right to call people with aspergers crazy, especially if you don't put in the shoes of that person. So here they are. I'm gonna read a little bit. So like I say, the open intellect domain have been the most difficult for psychologists to describe. The problem is that it is such an all-encompassing domain with psychological phenomena that linkage to human art, aesthetic interest, unconventionality, imagination, creativity, perceived intelligence, and intellectual curiosity. While the unifying force of the domain is a drive for cognitive exploration, recent research conducted by Colin DeJong and Jeremy Gray show that intellect can be separated from openness, both behaviorally and neurologically. Intellect is more related to exploration and engagement with abstract or semantic force of cognition, which is more to reasoning, while openness is more related to engagement with perceptual and sensory experiences. The cognitive division have posed some problems for psychologists trying to understand this broad domain, because intellectual forms of cognition are mixed in with more intuitive and sensory form of cognition. So pretty much what they're trying to explain is that intellectual form of cognitions is more related to exploration and engagement with abstract semantic form of cognition or reasoning, while openness is more related to other different functions like intuition and sensing, sensory perceptual processes. So if you see the different cognitive types, the different sensory cognitive functions, you see, reasoning is a rational function, while intuition, while sensing is a rational psychological function, right? So here they say that even though they are like in different poles, they are completely unrelated, they are actually connected by a string, right? It's like if you have here intelligence and if you have here openness. They are totally different, but somehow they are connected. They have a string connecting each other. So that's why they call it a paradox. They contradict themselves. These two functions contradict themselves because they have different cognitive functions that rule these domains as intellect or uh, openness. They have different functions that are contradictory to each other that control these domains, but at the same time they are like they have a bond. They say here the intellectual forms of cognitions are mixed in with more intuitive and sensory forms of cognition. So this situation have created a paradox, intelligence and madness. So intelligence is measured, this is very good to say, by the IQ, while madness is measured by a test that is measured by a test of a mild form of schizophrenia called schizotype. So madness and intelligence are negatively related to each other, but yet they are positively related to the overall openness intellect domain. So how this can be? So here they say schizophrenia is a debilitating mental illness that affects roughly 1% of the population and involves altered states of consciousness and abnormal perceptual experiences. Schizotype, which is a watered-down version of schizophrenia, consists of a constellation of personality traits that are evident in some degree in everyone. Schizotype can be broken down in two types: positive schizotypal traits such as unusual perceptual experiences, magical belief, and negative schizotypal traits such as physical and social anhedonia, inability to feel pleasure, which is inability to feel pleasure, and introversion. Researchers have been trying to figure out where exactly to place schizotype in the big five structure of personality. Along the way, they have tried remaining positive schizotype to such wonderful levels of oddity, peculiarity, and experiential permeability. So I want to make this clear. In this research, I want to make this clear. They say schizotype personality disorder or schizotype, I don't know how to pronounce that in English, have two differentiations and can be broken down in positive schizotypal traits such as unusual perceptual experiences and magical belief. So I want to make that clear. We can have a connection with madness, but we are people with Asperger's is not mad. Why? Many of us actually work with things that are very objective. Many of us have work that you have to actually think objectively, deal with the external world. So magical belief is something that makes people differentiated, makes people have a differentiation from being mad and being genius, right? As a Asperger's, I have this huge taste for Carl Jung and his theories, which are labeled as mysticism. But, like I say, people that is crazy, I'm sorry for the term, people that is mad or schizotype, they have unusual magical belief. They have, let me read again. They have unusual perceptual experiences. I don't have any kind of unusual perceptual experiences. I don't have psychotic symptoms like I don't see shadows. I don't see flies around me. I don't see unicorns. So that's something that you can say about a person. Well, that person have a mental problem, right? While Asperger's, the only difference is that we just have a different way of thinking about the world. We see things different. We have certain abilities that make us different. Of course, as we have abilities, we also have different parts that where we are weak, right? Because we have a different cognitive framework. So we are different in that aspect, and we can have our weaknesses. Like, for example, it's difficult for us because sometimes, in my case, I am very introvert. Sometimes I like to be funny, like I appeared in the video before, but I'm very immersed in myself, very immersed in myself, that sometimes I can't know what is other people's thoughts. I don't know what is other people think. So sometimes people see me as rude person, or somebody that is not very smart or crazy, because I'm not talking in the same plane of thoughts that they are. So I just wanna make that clear. Being Asperger's is being different. It's not being mad. So you're an Asperger's and you are being called by other neurotypicals or by other people. Okay, neurotypicals. I don't want to be a bigot. I don't want to be labeled as a bigot of neurotypicals. Uh, they are tagging you as crazy. Do not think you're crazy, because sometimes I have this belief that if you think that you're something, you're going to becoming that thing you're thinking about yourself. They call it in personality psychology self-fulfilling prophecies. So don't think you're crazy. You're Asperger's. You are just different. You don't understand sarcasm. You don't understand sexual innuendos. So you can be quite seen as somebody naive, but it's fine. Just cheer up. Uh, I can say that one of my main things that I want to change now, changing this. Now that I think I made that clear about madness and being Asperger's. I mean, there is a linkage between being mad and being intelligent. There's a huge difference, even though they're linked together, but they are different. I guess many geniuses that we have seen have gone through a madness phase in their life. I guess Leonardo da Vinci, Freud, John, Albert Einstein, they have gone through depression and many other stuff. Okay, now that I made that clear, I want to just talk about random topics, including the Asperger's topic, of course. That is always gonna be in my thoughts. So, like you say, so far I haven't been diagnosed with this syndrome. Uh, I can say that I'm 95% I will be diagnosed. This is a really high desire I have. I mean, my desires and the things I want. I don't like it to have shit, grandos, big percentage of that is going to happen. I want to say it that way because things not always happen. You know, things don't always happen in life. Sometimes when you something wanted to happen, nothing happens. So I'm optimistic. I always have 80, 75% of the time that I optimistic about my desires, and 20% not optimistic because if something doesn't happen, it's better to not fall into depression or become really sad. Like there's a thing, shit happens. So this time, but in this case of being diagnosed with Asperger's, I'm very sure I will be diagnosed with Asperger's. So I guess this is a new phase in my life, and a new stage, a new cycle. I guess I'm going to see life more mature. I always consider myself, and I know other people consider me a little bit childish, maybe very childish, I don't know. But it's in fact because, like I say, I don't have that kind of malice, that kind of pervert ideas all the time like neurotypicals do. Um, I can say that this is gonna be a new cycle in my life. I guess I'm going through a phase of self-acceptance. Um, for example, I've been in this group called the Gift Aspergers. Amazing group. If you are Asperger's and you wanna have like a community to express yourself, go to this group on Facebook, the Gift of Asperger's. I'm one of the administrators of the group. Um, actually, um, like I say, many of them watch my videos. They say, well, it looks you have a low self-esteem, and they actually hit the nail. They could see that I'm depressed a little bit sometimes. I mean, right now I'm balanced, but sometimes I get into depressive mood a lot. Um, I want to say that, I believe one of the main aspects of being successful in life is being happy. Being happy because you are what you are. You're Asperger's. You are, I don't know, you're missing a limb. You have any issue, but you have to self like you are. You only live once. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything related to carpe diem or something like that. I mean, you only live once. I'm not saying that you have to go right now and get drunk and inject all the heroin you find close to you. No. When I say you only live once, is that you have to enjoy life. Um, I'm not saying that you need to be hedonistic. You need to be hedonistic. You need to be. Let me do research really quick right here. I believe it's Epicureanism. which is